What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to bring you my 2-month, 5-hour review of our new mower. This is the John Deere Z530M, which is essentially John Deere's residential getting into commercial grade mowers. I'll kind of go through who it may be for, who it may not be for, and go through there. I bought it at a local John Deere dealership, and it retails anywhere between $52,000 and $6,000, depending on what deck and specs you get on it. I got the 48-inch deck, mainly because we just have about 0.6 acres. This mower is probably overkill for what we do, but time is important to us, so that it is what it is. So a few specs about it. It has the FR 730 Series V Kawasaki motor, which is not commercial grade, but I don't really think you need commercial grade mower for anything along this line. If you're cutting under like 5 acres, I think a regular, any type of FR motor will be fine. I think it's like 24 horsepower, but it's pretty standard, well-used mower or motor that they use in a lot of different, from Gravely to Ferris to just about everything they use. This, or I think the Kohler 7000 series is another pretty common motor. I'm not really sure what the wheel size are. I think it's like 20-inch and 13 for that. 48-inch deck. This is just our general Excel Deep. It's not the high capacity one, but you can get, I think, 48, 54, and 60, or around that line. I'm not really sure how big of a gas tank it has, but it has a very large gas tank compared to what my previously Gravely residential mower was. I want to say it's like 4 or 5 gallons. I rarely have to fill this thing up. 20-inch high back seat. I just have a rollover system, which I would prefer if there's an option to not get that rollover system. Maybe take $400 or $500 off, because I don't need it. But if you do, I could see how it would be useful for some people. It does have serviceable transmissions, which is the big reason why we got rid of our Gravely, which we did not really care for the way it cut, or just generally it in general, but you do have serviceable transmissions down there. If you can hear the bird in the background, I'm sorry about that. But you do have those serviceable transmissions to go by. So a few positives and negatives. This thing cuts really well. It cuts as good as our previous commercial grade Gravely. I think it was like the HD Pro series, which was about an $8,500 mower. It cuts just as good as that. I think that's mainly because of the 40-inch deck and the way that I think the engine is actually a little bit too, it's probably too much engine for this. You could probably get by with a 19 or 20 horsepower, but it cuts really well. It's not the fastest mower. It only goes 8 miles per hour forward, and that's mainly for the transmissions that you can see down there, but it doesn't have the, I would say, the beefiest or commercial grade transmissions, but you can service them, so I would consider them more commercial grade than anything. It is very comfortable. I think that's mainly due to the seat. It's not like a fully suspension seat, but it is a 20-inch high back seat. There does seem to be a little bit of maybe suspension here in the bottom. Not positive, but it is a significantly more comfortable than my Gravely was. Granted, the Gravely was about a $4,000 mower. This one's a little bit more. So another thing that I really like about this mower is that you do have the easy to access. So you do have to grease these spindles. So there is grease spindles down there. A lot of the newer ones, or the commercial grade ones, everything's greaseless, so you don't have to worry about servicing that stuff. But it says you only have to grease it every 50 hours, so I don't know how big of a deal that is. But that's another huge thing that I really like about it, that it's pretty easy maintenance, pretty easy to work on. The cut is the big thing. I just think it has a really nice deck on it, easy to adjust, easy to get it leveled in, and it's easy to do the height. So you have this little thing over here, you press that little lever, set it, push it down. It's a very easy system to actually adjust. And the big fuel tank. I have to go get my fuel with a small little gas can, and I probably could fill this up maybe once every 3 to 4 weeks, maybe. I could probably get by a month. Probably cut 5 or 6 times and not have any problems with the fuel. I like that it has, this will probably be stupid, but I like that it has a digital fuel tank. So a digital gauge there. And you actually got to start it, but you have a digital gauge that tells you just the hours, and then it'll have like a fuel meter here when you turn it on. My other one was hard to tell how much gas was in it because you do have a little lever there, but I think the fuel gauge is a little bit better. Just if you're worried about running out of fuel and you're cutting a large yard, it would probably be useful just to look down at that versus seeing how much is sloshing around in there. So that's it's again comfortable with the seat. The actual levers here for the forward and go and all that jazz are really comfortable. It's a very stiff mower. It feels very well put together and solid versus the Gravely just felt a little bit cheap. So it does have that. Tons of storage. So if you're cutting 2, 3, 4 acres and you're gonna be on this for a while, my Gravely didn't have very much storage in it, but this one has all kinds of cup holders and storage bins. And I do believe there's actually a cover you can get for this. So if you wanted to put a cover on this, it looks like there's a place to slot one in, but you do have, it's plastic and it's probably pretty cheap and would break if you hit it too hard, but it looks like it'd be easy to replace if you did break it. So there's screws there. So I do like that it has that storage, especially if you're cutting a large yard. I could see how that would be extremely useful. No grease in the front, so you don't have any type of grease fittings here. No grease in the wheels. My Gravely had grease on the wheels. That was kind of a pain to actually grease. The deck, I don't know what gauge it is or the quality of it, but it seems like a pretty good high quality deck. We don't have anything, I mean, this is probably the most, this and all these rocks kind of on the side, but we don't really hit a whole lot of things that would cause it to degrade the deck. So if you're cutting real heavy stuff, difficult to cut terrain where you're going to beat this deck up, you may want to go for, they do have, I think the yellow ones are the high capacity ones. They're a little bit higher grade, but I wanted the 48-inch deck because I think the 48-inch cuts a little bit better for under an acre than say like the 54 or 60. Anything else? So that's really it. So far we like it significantly more than our Gravely. I think it was just like the XT or ZXT, which was about $4,500, $4,600, 42 to 48, depending on what deck size you get on it. It's a significant upgrade than that. You can get this at Lowe's also. They have a lot of the Z530Rs versus the Ms at our Lowe's, but they do carry these at some Lowe's, and it's the same as the dealership. So if you can get a deal there, I don't think it matters where you get it at. We got others at Koenig, which we've been buying stuff from there for a while. The seat is adjustable, so it does go forward and back. I'm pretty sure our other mower, our cheap Gravely, did that also. It's very easy to service. The seat lifts up pretty easily. There's just a lever back here. If you need to get to the fuse box battery, it has a standard size mower battery on it. You do have this little washout port for the deck. I don't think you're supposed to do this every time you cut, but like maybe once a year, use that washout port. You just hook a hose up to it and it will clean underneath your deck for you. But that's it. It seems to be very fuel efficient. Large fuel tank, cuts really well. I mean, commercial grade cutting, I think it cuts just as good as our $8,500 Pro Turn HD Gravely mower that we used to have. That may just be because of the 40-inch deck, but it cuts really well. It's comfortable, efficient. You can service the transmissions. It's probably easy to service the motor because it's a pretty common motor. You can get all the parts at Lowe's, filters, all that jazz. So that's it. Easy to get to the deck. Because you have 3 grease fittings, you do have to grease. Basically, you just lower it, and then this little thing can pull open to do that. Very stiff. It's a very comfortable mower, but it doesn't feel very agile. It just feels a little bit heavy, a little bit stiff, almost like you're driving some type of, I want to compare it to like my Subaru STI. It's just a very stiff, well-balanced mower. But for the price point, if you're not doing anything crazy commercial grade and cutting, 5 days a week, 24/7, I think it'd be a good option. So that's it. If you have any comments, questions, leave them below, and I will get back to you. I will get a long-term review of this up at the end of the season when I use it a little bit more, but so far I've been really happy with it. Oh, you do have armrest for the seats, which is nice. They do kind of flop down. They don't stay up very well. So that's maybe one negative there, but that's it. We're really happy with it so far. Have a good rest of the day, weekend, and that's it.